Yes, we are back, folks, here on WLTH 1370 AM. I am Scott Cannon. Over there is
Reverend Dale.
We are back. And let me just say before we do this next story, Issues and Answers is generally a PG show, but this gets a little bit into, I guess, G territory. I mean, obviously, we're not going to use any awful terms or anything, but
Right.
This is a political story that came out last week and sort of set the media and social media on fire at the end of last week. North Carolina Republican Representative Madison Cawthorn has claimed that he has been invited to orgy in Washington, D.C. And has personally seen leaders in efforts to curb drug addiction doing cocaine. So Cawthorn, who was elected in 2020 as the youngest person to ever serve in Congress, as the youngest person ever served in Congress, made the comments during an appearance on the Warrior Poets Society podcast with host John Lavelle. Lavelle was asking Cawthorn how close the fictitious show House of Cards was to real life as a member of Congress, to which Cawthorn said, let me see if I have this here. Here we go.
With
It's
House
about
of
to get
Cards,
serious. Yes, I am.
with Kevin Spacey, and I forget who else was in it. But anyway,
Really well done show.
very
Really
well done
very
show.
well done show.
But it was so dirty, and it was about this congressman who was Kevin Spacey, who was I think it was minority or majority whip.
Yep.
What was it? Yeah. And so anyway, very very powerful guy, and it was just kind of like his secret life of all this corruption and power and money and perversion, and it was just dirty. How much, in your opinion, because you've been behind the veil, is this fictitious show, or is this more closer to like a documentary? Is it that bad?
So I heard a former president that we had in the 90s was asked a question about this. And he gave an answer that I thought was so true. And he said, the only thing that's not accurate in that show is that you could never get a piece of legislation about education passed that quickly.
And everything else is good?
Aside from that, I mean, the sexual perversion that goes on in Washington, I mean, being kind of a young guy in Washington, where the average age is probably 60 or 70, and I look at all these people, a lot of them that I've looked up to through my life. I've always paid attention to politics, guys that, then all of a sudden you get invited to, like, well, hey, we're going to have kind of a sexual get-together at one of our homes. You should come. And I'm like, what did you just ask me to come to?
Yeah.
And then you realize they're asking you to come to an orgy.
Yeah.
Or the fact that, there's some of the people that are leading on the movement to try and remove, addiction in our country. And then you watch them do, a key bump of cocaine right in front of you. And it's like, wow, this is wild.
Well, as he said, some of the people who are leading the fight against drugs in this country are doing cocaine in front of him and inviting him to orgies. I believe him, Rev. I believe him. I know the Republicans are mad at him, and they forced him to come out and say it wasn't true. But I believe Madison Cawthorn 100% when he said it.
Look, people who have access to power.
Yep.
And there are ladies to be deflowered.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that part in Hamilton? They said, "What's one other thing we're good at? We're we're all liable with the ladies." I mean, look. There's an old saying that says, "Power is a great aphrodisiac."
Yep.
Women.
That's why I'm running for mayor.
Yeah. Women are attracted to powerful men. Powerful men are accustomed to thinking that they can do whatever, they feel like doing.
Yep.
And that there'll always be someone that will find a way to say that it's okay for them to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, no, nothing about that surprises me at all.
So, of course, the Republican Party, as I stated, we're not very happy about any of this. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy said that Representative Madison Cawthorn's allegations of being invited to orgies and seeing people do cocaine were unfounded, and that he would not rule out further disciplinary action against the 26-year-old first-time member. Now, he's going to be disciplined for talking about it. He's going to be disciplined for telling what happened, as opposed to the people who are actually doing it. Now, McCarthy said he's got to turn himself around. Madison Cawthorn's got to turn himself around. Not the people having cocaine orgies. Madison Cawthorn is the one who's got to turn himself around. McCarthy said that Cawthorn gave him no evidence to back up the characterization. The explanation for the cocaine allegation was that he thinks he saw maybe a staffer in the parking lot from 100 yards away. And he said, this is unacceptable. There's no evidence to this. That's not becoming of a congressman. He did not tell the truth. That is a doggone lie. I don't care what. Come on now. You think that Madison Cawthorn may not be the smartest guy in the world. He may have his own issues that I'll talk about in a minute. But he knows the difference between his now colleagues in Congress and a staffer in a parking lot garage from 100 yards away. Come on, man. How stupid do they think we are?
Apparently quite stupid.
Hold on, caller. We'll get to you in a second.
Apparently very stupid.
Right, and this isn't like out of the ordinary for the Republican Party. Matt Gaetz is currently being investigated for sex trafficking allegations amid rumors of cocaine field benders and prostitutes.
Wow.
Right, so, and look, Cawthorn himself is no angel. Earlier this month, CNN reported that he was facing charges of driving with a revoked driver's license, the second time he's been flagged, and multiple women are accusing him of sexual harassment among wider scrutiny that he may have exaggerated parts of his backstory before becoming the youngest member of Congress. Former classmates made the allegations to CNN and said that he would offer to take them on fun rides when he was a student at Virginia's Patrick Henry College, where he would proposition on them. His MO was to take vulnerable women out on these rides with him in the car and to make advances. His former classmate Caitlin Coulter told CNN. So,
oh goodness,
right?
Now, see, now you take vulnerable women.
Well, see, I mean, like, here's the thing, like
those poor blushing damsels. What was that college again?
Patrick Henry
College, a bastion of innocent, naive.
Well, see, like, here's the thing now, especially with Me Too now, like, Me Too has sort of started to infantilize women in some way, where it's like, they didn't say he raped them. They didn't say that he sexually assaulted them, just that he propositioned them. Like, I'm thinking, like, what do you think a young guy in his early 20s is taking you out to make out point, like, to do? Like,
they're going bird watching.
Yeah, I'm sure they're going to make out point to
watch birds.
To watch birds. Call back. I just said I'd get to you after we have to get through these stories. You know, we only have 2 hours a week, folks. Okay, and
wow.
So we have to get through these stories. But yeah, but I'll say, look, and I'm gonna sit here. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like it's just the Republicans. We know what Bill Clinton has been accused of. Bill Clinton was friends with Jeffrey Epstein, and like the day before the Democratic National Convention, where he gave a speech, pictures of him came out getting a massage from one of Jeffrey Epstein's victims. So this isn't some. I'm not gonna pretend it's just the Republicans. But the Republicans have modeled themselves the party of family values.
It used to be, I can't remember who the guy was, but there was a Republican congressman, and he got busted for, sexually harassing pages or something, I think it was.
Yeah.
Interns. And, they made him resign.
Right. Was it Mark Foley? Is that the one you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark Foley.
I mean, they used to have the reputation for, you got caught, something like that, they had no mercy.
Right.
Now they have no scruples.
Right. Right. Well, I think Trump had a lot to do with that because, like, once Trump came in, Trump was the guy who got caught on camera saying that he grabs women by whatever, their parts.
Yeah.
He's been divorced a bunch of times. You know, he's out there he's out there partying with strippers and porn stars,
Whoop,
including
whoop.
one from Maryville.
Whoop, whoop.
One of Trump's porn stars was from Maryville, and I forget what her name was. She was in Playboy and all that stuff. But yeah, after Trump, they sort of lost that. Well, they lost the ability to even have the talking point. Once you let somebody like Donald Trump be the face of your party, and he's such an open degenerate, then you can't really say, hey, we're the party of family values, and we're the ones who tried to go after Bill Clinton, you know, because at least it used to be, look, there are people who are hypocrites in their personal lives, and behind closed doors they are doing stuff that they are not portraying when they give their speeches, and you know they are projecting an image of family values while doing something else behind closed doors. Donald Trump is just an open degenerate.
Yeah.
And once he becomes an open degenerate, becomes the face of your party, then what can you say then? You know, and the funny thing is that Madison Cawthorn will have to step down before the congressmen who are having cocaine orgies with prostitutes.
Yeah. Yep.
He'll be gone just for talking about it. They'll still be out in Washington having
snorting up.
Yep, snorting and doing what they do. So I think that it just goes to show you, again, these are the people who we let lord over us. These are the people we let make our laws. These are the people who, during the pandemic, you know, basically abandoned us, basically, you know, allowed hundreds of thousands of people to die. You know, these are people who have never worked in the best interest of the American public. They are there for their own means. They are there to make money. I talked about. I think this is one of the weeks you were gone, Rev. Around Christmas time, I actually did a story on how many of the members of Congress own stock in the vaccine, the companies that made the vaccine. So Pfizer, BioNTech, Moderna, and it was something like 100 Congress people owned stock in these companies and were racking up while they were trying to force all of us to get the vaccine. And so again, like, I don't care what people do in their personal lives. It's a free country. You know, let adults be adults. The issue for me isn't that these Republicans are doing stuff. If I'm sure some of their wives, I'm sure some of them have political marriages where their wives just say, look, just keep up a front for the kids, keep up a front, and, you know, I'll help you project your image as a family man, and we'll, you know, just make money, stay together for the kids, you do what you want, whatever. That's, you know, that's their business. The problem becomes once they start to decide that they are the moral arbiters for all of us.
Yeah.
That type of hypocrisy.
I mean, because I didn't ask them to be that.
Yeah.
I would expect a married congressman to, you know, do what I would expect every other married person to do. I would expect a congressman who's a father to do what I would expect every other father to do, to put their family's interest above their own flesh. You know, you made a covenant with the woman. I expect you to honor your vows, but I don't ask them to do anything other than their job.
Right, and they can't even do that a lot of the
Can't
times.
do that right.
They can't do that a lot of the times. And, you know, Congress, I think, only the media, I think, is more unpopular than Congress.
Well, that and lawyers, but since a lot of congressmen are lawyers, I guess that means they get a 2-for-1 there.
Right, but I think the media is the least popular occupation. So I guess that's us.
That's interesting.
But yes, But
Why should they be mad at us? I mean, what are we doing?
well, see, here's the thing, and this is why a lot of stories I do on this show is specifically attacking the corporate mainstream, what I perceive to be biased media, is because, again, it's almost like with the Republicans, when you portray yourself as family values, then when you're not out there living family values, then that hypocrisy makes you more despised, more roundly, hated. And the same thing goes to the media. The media, especially when Trump was in office, you saw CNN and the Washington Post and the New York. Oh my God, Donald Trump is killing us. Oh my God, Donald Trump. He's talking about the media being the enemy of the people. Oh my God, Donald Trump said this. Donald Trump's talking about fake news. The media is fake news. They are. And we're about to in the next story with, regarding the 2016, bringing back some of the stuff from the 2016 election. Yeah, they were fake news. And we know the media is biased. We know that the media is basically, the mainstream media is a wing of the corporate sellout liberal Democratic Party. That's obvious to anybody who's not a liberal and sort of in the liberal bubble of white liberals and the colored people who love them, whether you're a leftist, whether you're on the right, whether you're a centrist, we all see what the media is.
Yeah.
Like, the media is biased as heck, and it does not do us any favors. And so that's why people hate the media so much, and that's why I've always tried to keep it real here on here. Whether Trump was right, whether Biden was right, whether Trump was wrong, whether Biden was wrong, the things Obama was right about, I come out and say it. The things I feel like Trump was right about, or any Reagan, whoever, because if you are real, the public will respect you. That's why they respect you, Rev. That's why you are who you are, and your beliefs are your beliefs. But when it's so obvious that the media is owned by a few rich billionaires, we know that they are in bed with the military-industrial complex, the prison-industrial complex. We know they're in bed with, they're owned by, even one of our newspapers, the Post-Tribune, is owned by Alden Capital. We all know that these media companies are owned by rich corporate establishment sources, so nobody trusts anything these people have to say.
Mm-hmm.
And while they act like they are the arbiter of truth, oh my God, it's Donald Trump. How dare he say we fake news? You are fake news. Whether it's Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, Syria, Russiagate, the virus, the COVID-19. Oh, we have a card.